Hi, I'm Hazeline Lasin. We all know that it's really important to learn the English language, and learning this, we have to master the five macro skills. When we learn a language, it's very important that we first hone our macro skills before achieving effective and accurate communication to each other. All about macro skills. There are actually four macro skills originally, but as time goes by, it's actually evolved into five. These are reading, listening, speaking, writing, and viewing. Receptive versus expressive. These macro skills are actually divided into two categories. We have the expressive macro skills and the receptive macro skills. Well, the receptive macro skills are listening, reading, and viewing. It's more of the input, like you are giving yourself information regarding something for you to express it. It's the ability to understand what is being provided to us. For the expressive or the rest, which are speaking and writing, whenever we talk about expressive, it's more of giving and output producing or generating something out of what you've seen. Remember, it will be very difficult for you to hone your communicative skills if you do not first improve your receptive skills. Theories of macro skills. There is actually this one theory that anchors these macro skills, and this is no other than communicative competence by Dilheims 1972. Well, communicative competence refers the learner's ability to use the language with appropriateness, with cohesion, and appropriate strategies. Communicative competence include linguistic competence, wherein you have the idea about the rule or you're familiar with the rules of the language. The second is social-linguistic competence, knowing where and what form of language you have to use in that certain setting. The third is discourse competence, wherein you can understand and comprehend a whole discourse, like in a conversation or maybe reading a novel. The last is strategic competence, like you avoid having dead air and knowing how to cope in a certain communication. Macro skills form in teaching. Now let's move on into two forms as to how macro skills are being taught. There are actually two forms, which is the BICS and the CALP. BICS stands for Basic Interpersonal Communication Skills, while CALP stands for Cognitive Academic Language Proficiency. Forms in teaching macro skills. BICS versus CALP. How are they different? Well, for BICS, it's more of learning the language beyond the classroom. It's like highlighting natural communication, more of the descriptive grammar, so they are not so strict in terms of implementing the rules, as long as it can be understood and they are using the language effectively. However, with the CALP, it's not like that. Its goal is to actually teach the students how to use language proficiently in the academic sense, meaning you have to use the language accurately. They are more strict in terms of implementing the rules. It focuses on the ability to read, to write, to analyze a paper, and so on, that can be used in business, industry, and so forth. Now let's start with the five macro skills. Let's start off, which is the reading skills. So what is reading? How do we know that we are actually reading? According to D. Brown, 2004, reading is a process wherein we decode the text, we try to comprehend it, and later on interpret it. Another definition, according to H. Weddowson, 1990, it is a process of negotiating, like you have your insights already in your head, activating your schema, and that material is already giving something to you. There is a dialogue between the reader and the writer. Reading is a fundamental skill for learners, not just for learning, but for life, with reading being defined as the ability to draw meaning from the printed page and interpret this information appropriately. Reading is a learning skill. It helps you improve all parts of the English language, such as vocabulary, spelling, grammar, and writing. It helps to develop language intuition in the corrected form. Then the brain imitates them, producing similar sentences to express the desired meaning. Examples of reading: find the secret word, read aloud as a class, partner reading, find the synonym, and word searches. Listening skills. What is really listening? According to Amert 1994, listening is beyond hearing the words. It is an active process, not a passive one, unlike most of us believe. Well, hearing and listening are different things. Whenever we talk about hearing, it's about you hear the sounds. You perceive whatever sounds, but you don't actually mind it. But for listening, it's more that hearing the sounds and you try to process it. Listening is the most important skill in communication. This is communication technique that requires the listener to understand, interpret, and evaluate what he or she hears. Listening effectively improves personal relationships through the reduction of conflict and strengthens cooperation through a collective understanding. Examples of listening: fill in the blank for song lyrics, write what you hear, a voice blogging, a hidden phrase, discussion questions, and true or false statements.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ma'am. I am Sheena S. Lumesa, the second presenter. I am going to tackle about the 3 remaining types of 5 macro skills, which is viewing, speaking, and writing. Viewing is a process of attending and comprehending visual media such as television, advertising images, films, diagrams, and symbols. Viewing becomes more interesting because of the materials that are improving. We already have the term called multimodal. For example, when you read a book, it's not just tags, it's not just text, but this includes pictures or maybe graphs and images that will help you to comprehend more. And some examples of those multimodals are your drawings, photographs, videos, web pages, graphs, charts, and even the multimedia itself. Viewing involves interpreting the images for which words stand and connecting visual images in videos, computer program, and website. And with this, it enhances listening skills when students attend to nonverbal communication and visual elements of performance, video, television, film, and multimedia presentations. We can test the viewing skills of students by giving them some activities. For example, media analysis. You can show a short video clip or advertisement and have students analyze the visual and auditory elements, discussing how they contribute to the message and effectiveness. And the other one is image interpretation. You can display an image related to a topic and ask students to describe it, interpret its meaning, and discuss how it connects to the broader context or text they are studying. Speaking. Speaking is the process of building and sharing meaning to the use of verbal and nonverbal communication, and we use it in a variety of contexts and the ability to communicate orally and effectively. Speaking fostering students' ability to produce spoken language clearly and effectively. This involves practicing pronunciation, fluency, and interactive speaking. Speaking activities such as discussions, presentations, and role plays. We can enhance or test the speaking skills of a student by giving them activities, for example, role playing. Students practice a dialogue or a scenario, for example, ordering food in a restaurant with a partner to develop conversational skills and fluency. Another activity is a presentation. Assign a topic to each student or group and have them prepare and deliver a short presentation to the class focusing on clear pronunciation and effective communication. And the last one is writing. Writing is another medium of communication wherein we put our thoughts into symbols and text, guiding students in producing coherent and well-organized written text. This includes teaching various writing forms, for example, essays, reports, or emails, grammar, vocabulary, and revision strategies to improve clarity and effectiveness. It can foster the learner's ability to summarize and to use the language freely. To write flawless language, one should excel in the writing skills. Importance should be given to composition and creative writing. This has 4 main goals for student achievement. Number 1 is to write clearly and creatively to convey a message. It is important to write clearly and creatively to convey a message for the reader to understand content of a message. And the number 2 is to communicate ideas, thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Because by writing, we can communicate and we can share our ideas, thoughts, and feelings to everyone. And the third one is to understand that writing is a reflective and interactive process. Number 4 is to understand the different purposes, audiences, and forms for writing. We can test the writing skills of a student by giving them activity such as essay writing. You can have students write an essay on a given topic, focusing on structure, the introduction, body, and conclusion, coherence, and grammatical accuracy. And another activity is a peer review. Students write a draft of a letter or report and then exchange papers with a peer to provide feedback on content, organization, and language use.
Thank you all for watching this here video.